just having, your team together right away. Usually, coming out of NHL camp, they're looking at different guys, and you're inserting young guys with the veterans, we as American League guys kind of got to just wait till things filter out with the big club. And I think right now, from day one, we've been looking at how our team in Albany is going to shape out right from day one. So I think that's the biggest difference.
You've been even as far as forward lines and defense pairings, thinking right from day one.
Well, as a coach, you always you think about that, but we're going to see how things play out in the exhibition. This is normally, I think, for us, the last 2 years in Albany, I think we haven't had more than 2 exhibition games. And one year got cut short because the ice didn't make it through. I forget where we were, somewhere in New Hampshire or something. But I think you start to look at that, but you just these exhibition games, it'll be good. We get 4 this year, and it'll be good to see guys. We get 1 scrimmage in. So again, as things play out here, you might see some chemistry between guys. And we're going to try different things, and like I said, with having 4 games to look at different lineups and different rosters and different combinations.
You still have decisions to make at the bottom of the roster, though, right? You're still guys trying to make the club, and not everybody here is not going to make it.
There's 35 guys here, so I think something like that. So there's going to be decisions, and obviously with the some of the players that would have been here in New Jersey, they're top guys that are going to play. So there's going to be some decisions to made in the lineup, no question.
You have 4 goalies here, only obviously 2 can make the team. How difficult is that going to be with 4 pretty good young goalies?
Yeah, I mean they're all prospects, all guys that have Wedgwood's the only kid that actually hasn't played a game in Albany. So again, it's good. I think it's healthy to have a competitive camp, and guys are pushing each other. And again, I think these exhibition games are going to be big to see how guys play. And right now I don't know what the final result's going to be as far as the goaltending situation was.
Will they all get a chance in those 4 games?
I believe so. I'm again. That's something that the management up top, I think, is going to get involved with making decisions on who gets games. But yeah, I would say that I'm sure they're all going to get minutes. Whether they all get a full game or not, I'm not sure.
You don't know who's playing tomorrow, though?
No, I do not.
How much do you know about some of the guys that came here from other organizations like a Butler, Parse? So what do you know about those guys? What have you learned in the 4 days here?
Not a lot. Parse, we didn't see him. I think he was in LA most of the time before I got to. He was in Manchester. I wasn't in the American League at the time. And then Butler we saw in Binghamton, and heck of a shot. Really got a nose for the net. He played on. He started the season, I think he scored 22 goals the first half of the season, then went up to Ottawa and ended up coming back on the Calder Cup team. So we saw a fair amount of him. He's got a nose for the net, can really shoot the puck, and good power play guy. I think he played that year with Corey Locke, who obviously they had a very dangerous power play that year. So he's a guy that we're going to obviously look to for that element.
A guy like Harry Young changed positions this camp. What's the thought process behind that, and how do you think you're going to adapt to that?
We tinkered with it a bit last year, and then again did in development. It's going to be an adjustment for him, but he's ready for it. He's a great guy that from a team's toughness standpoint, and he's a guy that we don't have. We got some gritty guys, we got some tough guys, Kelly Carenti. But as far as heavyweights, Harry's right now probably the only one that we know of, unless something emerges here. But so he's a guy that we're going to need, and if we go into buildings and we get some of these good young prospects here, you need someone to so we don't get pushed around. And we know Harry's made it clear that he's been willing to do that from day one. And last year with a little more depth on D, we got him down the East Coast League and got him some playing time. So hopefully that'll be beneficial for him. But I think the experiment on forward is just we want to find a spot for him on the roster and in the lineup hopefully on a regular basis.
And for a guy in that role, is it actually easier to have him up front than on defense? A guy that's going to be the enforcer?
Not necessarily. It depends. I mean, the biggest thing for me is, if you got a tough guy on defense, 5-minute major, that's 5D, and it's so up front. It gives you, you obviously got a little more options as far as guys getting tired. But you lose a guy on the back end for 5 minutes, it can hurt you over the course of the game.
Is it safe to assume that guys like Henrik and Larson and Josephson, you'll tap them on the shoulder a lot to send them out on the ice?
Well, you know what, too. I mean, obviously, they're great players, and with the exception of Larson, the other two, I had a pretty good relationship. We spent significant time with them. Obviously, Adam spent the first full season with us, so he's familiar with us, the guys, the coaching staff, and same with Jake. He spent, I think he was 27 games the first year, and then back and forth a little bit. So we know these guys, they know us, and it's good. I mean, and then Adam's a good young kid, and we were able to, we see these guys in camp and development camp. So it's not like oh, these guys are coming down, we don't know them, and these, So they're good players, and yeah, they're going to play. And I think the biggest thing is they're going to be at an advantage depending on how, especially if this thing goes long, because they're playing competitive hockey and practicing every night. So when the time does come, I think they're going to be able to step right in and help the club.